This is Mrs. Ross, and this is Module I, Unit 1, Lesson 1, Introduction to Energy. You'll see that this is the same as the book. It's just a digital portion or digital format. So let's get into it. How do scientists define energy? If you look in the second paragraph, it says scientists define energy as the ability to do work or to cause changes in matter. The ability to do work or to cause changes in matter. Examples of the ability to do work. So this ability to do work can be observed in examples as simple as a traditional wind-up toy or as complex as a crane lifting steel beams. Okay, so those are two examples right under the definition of energy. And then we have the definition of work, but that says it's on page 7. So let's go ahead and go down to, that's page 6. Here's page 7. So work is defined as the transfer of energy to an object by a force that causes the object to move in the direction of that force. And you'll need to write all of that down. Work is defined as the transfer of energy to an object by a force that causes the object to move in the direction of that force. Now the formula for work is in this second paragraph. Work, which is signified with a W, can be calculated using the formula W equals F times D. There's your formula. Where F stands for, F is the force applied to the object, and D stands for, D is the distance the object moved. Okay, so let's scroll down, and then we have the units of force. So force is in the units of newtons, so newtons, and distance is in the units of meters, meters. So work is defined in Newton meters, which is also called joules, Joules. This is all right here in the paragraph. So the question is work done if the object doesn't move? Note that if the object does not move, or the distance equals 0, there is no work done. So the answer to that is no. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. And it says 2 ways energy and work are related. And that's going to be in the second sentence of this paragraph. Energy is the ability to do work, that's number 1, and work requires a transfer of energy, that's number 2. Energy is the ability to do work, number 1, and work requires a transfer of energy. And now we have our first quick check. Describe how energy is different than work. Okay, so the way that I answered this, energy is the ability to do work or to cause changes in matter. Work is the transfer of energy to an object by a force that causes the object to move in the direction of that force. So basically, I gave the definitions, which are above, of energy and work. Okay. Moving on, how does mass and speed affect the energy of an object? That's on page 8, so let's go down. Mass and speed. All right, second sentence in this first paragraph, the more massive the object, or the faster it's traveling, the more energy it has, and that's what you'll want to write down. The more massive the object or the faster it's traveling, the more energy it has. Let's go back over here. Kinetic energy definition. So kinetic energy is the energy of motion. Kinetic energy is the energy of motion. Okay. Potential energy is stored energy. It says an object may also have stored energy based on its relative position within a system or its condition. Potential energy is the stored energy based on its relative condition within a system or its condition, or you can just call it stored energy, because there's a ton of different types of potential energy, which we'll be getting into. Okay, gravitational potential energy. The energy stored in an object due to its physical position and the force of the gravity acting on it is gravitational potential energy. This is the last sentence in this first paragraph. The energy stored in an object due to its physical position and the force of gravity acting on it is called gravitational potential energy. And then we have the question, how can potential energy be transformed? My intent with that is to make it so that you know it's in the last paragraph. It's in the second paragraph, last sentence, that kinetic energy can be transformed back into potential energy. So kinetic energy goes is transformed into kinetic energy and back. Actually, it's the first sentence in this second paragraph. Potential energy can be transferred into kinetic energy and back. The how is that it moves, but you can just say that it's transformed back and forth into kinetic energy. All right, let's answer these quick check questions. So we have a ball is sitting at the top of a ramp. As the ball rolls down the ramp, the potential energy decreases. What happens to the potential energy as the ball moves? And the answer is going to be that it is converted. Let me see why. Oh, I see. My bad. That it is converted to kinetic energy. Okay. And then which of these is an example of the conversion of kinetic energy, or the energy of movement, to gravitational potential energy? And it's going to be a person walking up a hill. Okay. And then we have this, pendulum diagram, if we can get back to it. Okay, the diagram shows a swinging pendulum. During every swing, the pendulum's speed and position change. 3 positions during the swing are identified as 1, 2, and 3. At which point would the most of the pendulum's potential energy have been turned into kinetic? So where is the most kinetic energy? And that's going to be at position 3, or at the bottom of the pendulum swing. Next, which term describes the energy that is stored due to the height of an object above ground? That's gravitational potential energy. And then we have 2 movers. Use a ramp to load a piano into a truck. Describe how the potential energy and kinetic energy of the piano as it sits on the ground, as it is moved in the truck. Boy, I didn't give you all a lot of room here. And then as it sits in the truck. So on the ground, the potential and the kinetic is equal to 0. It's not moving anywhere, so it has no kinetic energy, and it doesn't have any potential energy because it's on the ground. It doesn't have any height. Okay? As the piano moves up the ramp, it has kinetic energy because it's moving, and it's increasing potential energy because it's moving up. Okay, there's more potential energy the higher that you go. And when the piano is in the truck, the kinetic energy is actually 0 because it's not moving, but the potential energy is greater than when it's on the ground because it's at the truck height. So I'm hoping that that makes sense. If it doesn't, please let me know and I will explain further. All right, let's do an example of chemical energy. That's on page 9, so that's page 8, so page 9 should be here. Let's see, example of chemical energy. So in this first paragraph, it talks about a few different forms of energy. And an example of chemical energy is digesting food. Digesting food is chemical energy. An example of electromagnetic energy is light from the sun. Light from the sun is an example of electromagnetic energy. And then an example of sound energy is when a noise is made. Like when the waves crash and they make a noise, that would be an example of sound energy. So let's continue down. Oh, too far. Mechanical energy. So we have mechanical energy is the energy of an object due to what? Let's see. So in other words, this is the second sentence in this paragraph. Mechanical energy of an object is due to its motion and position. So the energy of an object due to its motion and position. The mechanical energy is the sum of both kinetic and potential. I think it even says gravitational potential here, but you could say that it's kinetic plus potential. All of the potential, gravitational potential, chemical potential, all of that. And how can mechanical energy be distributed? So you could have all potential energy. This is the very last sentence. You could have all kinetic energy, or you could have a combination of both. P-E-N-K-E. Okay. All right, we have another quick check here, so let's go ahead and get that did. How is mechanical energy calculated? And it's the very first one by adding potential energy and kinetic energy. And then we have this question. A book is sitting on a shelf 3 meters off the ground. Kinetic energy is found using 1/2 times the mass times the speed times the speed. Potential energy is found by taking mass times gravity times height. The gravity on Earth is 9.8 meters per second squared every day. What is needed to determine the book's mechanical energy as it sits on the shelf? So we know the height is equal to 3. We know that gravity is equal to 9.8. It's sitting on the shelf, so we know that kinetic energy is nothing because kinetic energy requires motion. The gravitational potential energy is mass times gravity times height, and we are missing the mass. Let me know if I lost you there, okay? Thermal energy defined on page 10. Let's keep on keeping. We have all the different types of energy here. This is awesome. Thermal energy, and it's in the very first sentence of thermal energy, is the total kinetic energy of all the particles that make up an object. Thermal energy is the total kinetic energy of all the particles that make up an object. So how does temperature affect particle motion? And that's in the second sentence of this first paragraph. Particles move faster at higher temperatures than lower temperatures. So at lower temperatures, they would move slower, and at higher temperatures, they would move faster. We saw this in our glow stick experiment over reset week. And then we have, how does the speed of an object affect thermal energy? So let's see. The faster the particles move, the more thermal energy the object has. That's the third sentence in this paragraph. So the faster the objects move, the more thermal energy it has. How does the amount of particles affect the amount of thermal energy? So that's the last sentence. The more particles an object has, the more thermal energy it has. So we used every sentence in that paragraph. So let's go to electromagnetic energy. So here, the definition is the first sentence. Electromagnetic energy is the kinetic energy of electromagnetic waves. And you can stop there. You can also call these EM waves if you know that that's shorthand for electromagnetic. It goes into some of the examples of EM waves. Which is next? Examples of EM energy. So I would say visible light, also in the first sentence. X-rays, microwaves, etc. High energy EM waves. So X-rays are high energy waves used by doctors and dentists to look at your bones. So X-rays would be high energy waves. And then we're going to scroll down to sound energy. So first sentence, sound energy is the kinetic energy caused by the vibration of particles in a medium. So a medium is something that sound goes through. So right now you're hearing my voice as it travels through air. It's vibrating the particles of air. And then we skip down to electrical energy, first sentence. Electrical energy is the kinetic energy of moving electrical charges. The kinetic energy of moving electric charges. And we have a question. How does the amount of electric charges affect the amount of electrical energy? So let's see. In this third sentence, it says the more electric charges that are moving, the more electric energy is carried by the wire. Okay, so the more electric charges that are moving, the more electric energy that is carried by the wire. Let me move this up so we can see that's electric energy. Okay. We have examples of electric energy in nature. What? Here it is, last sentence of electric energy. Electrical energy can occur in nature in the form of lightning and smaller static electric shocks. So lightning and smaller, like when you shock your sister or you shock your brother or you run your feet along the carpet and you reach for the door and it shocks you. That's how it happens in nature. Let's see. So we're on to elastic energy. I think my video is going to quit here soon, so I'll have to make a part 2. Elastic energy. So you'll see over here in the first sentence, elastic energy is the potential mechanical energy stored in an object when work is performed by its change of shape. That's a very scientific definition. Basically, if you have a rubber band and it's not stretched, or you have a rubber band that's stretched, it has the potential energy to move or to be, it has potential energy in that rubber band. So you'll write the potential mechanical energy stored in an object when work is performed to change its shape, like when you change the shape of a rubber band. Chemical energy. Chemical energy is the potential energy stored in the chemical bonds of substances. So that's what you'll write for the definition of chemical energy. It's in